This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 211 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. This is the last anime of the year. Oh, I always get the regrets afterwards. So, I gotta make this count. You gonna hold that there whenever you go?
It's an audio podcast.
Okay. I know it is. That's what makes it fun. Alright, today I'm going to be your spy master, Eric Getty Gettinger. With me, as always, is precognitive dog, or dog, Alex Arona. That didn't translate right.
Nope.
You want to try that again? You're not going to say anything.
That's what the script says.
It has two words that I'd like you to say.
When he's not down to play the game, you know there's something wrong.
Yeah, jeez.
No, that's actually it's perfectly succinct because that is Ein. That is Ein. Those are clips taken from Ein. This is exactly what he's referencing.
All right, that's just rude, Alex. I write this great opening for you, and you don't even use it. All right, next, let me introduce a very wise co-host, Joel DeWitt. That's all caps for wise.
These reports are trash, Getty. How many times do we need to go over the correct TPS formats?
God, I hate everything about that. This is not the time or place, Joel.
Are you ready? Are you ready for the mid-year review? We're about there. You better start writing up your performance review.
Yeah, we did those already.
So I can pretend to look at it and then write some generic stuff about how you're doing okay, but we haven't met our goals yet. And that I hope you reach those by year end.
Yeah, it's not going to happen.
Because you want to get that high performance so you can get a bonus.
No, I don't want that. Just right in the middle. That's all I want. Just
corporate says that you can't get above a 4.
No. It was it was you can't get a 4 or a 5.
You have to get better than Redfall.
Corporate says you can only get like 1 4 and the rest have to be 3s.
Well,
if you get Redfall, then you're gonna have to talk to HR.
If we're comparing this to Redfall,
if you get a 5, then that means your goals aren't high enough.
All right, for somebody that didn't want to lag on this. All right, last, definitely not least, our hopeless, romantic, and scruffy member, Alec Parks.
Hey, as long as I'm not a scruffy-looking nerf herder.
See, now I'm just mashing up my nerddoms.
Yes.
Is that a Star Wars thing?
That is a Star Wars thing.
Okay.
All right. Good job. Alec, I would never say that to you. But guys, who knows what this opening was? I think I told Alex like 3 times.
Also, question, do we ever find out what nerfs are?
Yeah. It's a giant, like a farm animal.
When did we find that out?
Extended universe. Anything else you want to ask? All right, who figured it out? What is this?
I know what this is.
So it's an anime thing, right?
Yeah.
The dog. And a very annoying manager. And a scruffy member.
You're not going to get it.
Maybe work on phrasing there, Joel. I don't think we want to talk about our scruffy
Whoa.
You need to learn to just not acknowledge it and move on.
Family program here. We're here for the family. Spy family. Spy family.
Never.
But also,
nobody.
I did not get far enough to realize that they had the precog dog.
Yeah.
I thought we were going for a Bebop situation, so
Nope.
That's why I gave you Ein.
Precog dog.
I only got the precog girl.
The agency is wise, and then there's a member that is undercover a lot of times, and he's like a scruffy looking guy. So I tried, man. I tried to make us into an anime, and we failed terribly. So let's really get into it. This week we got some spooky games and early adopters, rationalize some purchases with the news, then deal a death blow to the backlog, I think. Yep, Alex is just slaying it all day. All right.
That means something different for the kids.
Nope.
I still am okay with it.
Yeah, no. All right, early adopters, where we play alphas, betas, and games. Oh boy, doubling down on the spooky games this week, guys. It's not even October. What happened here?
Those are Getty's favorite.
I love this week. Hey guys, let me tell you about Daymare 1994 Sandcastle.
Is this a prequel, Getty?
Could this title be any more obnoxious?
Oh,
Maybe.
It could. Electric Boogaloo.
I feel like that's implied with Sandcastle, no?
Maybe.
Couldn't you just call it
to Castle?
Daymare 1994? So we played another Daymare game on the podcast. I want to say like 2 years ago, and that one to set the mood, the aesthetic. It's not Resident Evil, but it is as close to the original Resident Evil as it could be without ripping anyone off. Now,
I would say it's Resident Evil 4 adjacent.
Now, I'm talking about
the first Resident Evil Light.
Resident Evil Light 1994 Sandcastle is an improvement in a lot of ways, and it also takes on some of the stuff I like about the original, but it also adds other things that you didn't have before. I think that's really good on them to make it a little bit more interesting and not just that generic fake Resident Evil game. So,
well, I mean, there's still instead of stars, there's Hades.
Yeah, as close as possible that you can get without legally infringing on anything.
At least
copy my homework, but make it different so that we don't get in trouble.
You don't have to use ribbons to save your game, though. So that's
you
a
don't.
Nice quality.
Oh, thank goodness.
But you do have to use a suspicious laptop that's just hanging around. Just out of nowhere.
And all the document stuff just literally looks like that screen that you see in Resident Evil.
Your inventory system.
As close as possible. This is when we played, what was it, Temtem? It's not Pokemon, guys. But Daymare, 1994 Sandcastle, has the third person over the shoulder.
Over the shoulder.
Yep. You got your character that you're controlling. The controls for the character are a lot more smooth than I would compare to the original. You guys remember that one? No, definitely not.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Okay, so Alex does.
I really that's the thing is that I'm not a big fan of the spooky games. I'm not good. I'm a big wuss when it comes to this kind of stuff, but I will tell you that I really enjoyed what Daymare did. I think that a lot of times once you've kind of quote unquote found the best, that there's no room for competition, or that when there is competition, it's very much just shoot away. And in this case, I don't think that this is I think that this is real close to being just a generic competitor, but at the same time I'm I'm glad that there's somebody doing something. We got Dead Space, we got Resident Evil. What else we got? Silent Hill's kind of coming back now. Dino Crisis is long gone. Mm-hmm. That one, the clock tower, whatever, the one with the photography.
Fatal Frame.
Yeah,
Fatal Frame.
And my favorite, Evil Within.
Yes, Evil Within is a very good one of those. I like Evil Within quite often. I love that idea that we get these competitors that are trying to do things a little bit different, a little bit weird. And Daymare, 1998 and 1994 both seem like they are hitting the same kind of marks. But a lot of people, you play the Resident Evils and you're like, what else am I gonna do? And you're like, well, maybe you should try Daymare.
Mm-hmm.
What I like from what we played so far, at least, is that this game has puzzles, but they're very uncomplicated puzzles, and they're not that kind of obtuse, archaic puzzle structure that a Resident Evil is. It is very much mostly on a fixed track, but we haven't gotten that far yet. Is that the problem?
How far did you make it through the demo?
I got to the part where I got the not CO2, like the freeze weapon.
Yeah, nitrogen, not
nitrogen. I think that's it. I think it was nitrogen.
Maybe
one of those chemicals. But,
it was definitely a chemical.
Yeah. So
Phil's
at least
not in this for chemistry class.
No.
That was definitely
after that.
One of my worst classes.
After that point, once you get to the Alex, did you get to the missiles? Or you have to?
I did not get to the missiles yet.
You have to realign the platforms. Okay, yeah, that's where I was like, oh, come on.
That's where I had to stop at.
You eventually get to a point where it's like, really? Okay, well, I guess I got to figure this out. But yeah, you're right. You don't have to like go into one area, find a very specific item while backtracking to get to another. Because we did play Resident Evil. I think it was video game homework last year.
It was the spooky day for Halloween. Yeah.
So this doesn't have as much backtracking.
Right. But that makes a world of difference to me.
Yeah.
Because like a good 2/3 of Resident Evil 1 for me was backtracking and meandering around the mansion, trying to figure out what the hell to do. At least with it being linear and just presenting you with this is the next puzzle. It's confined in this space. It does help a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I like the way it keeps it moving. Things are shiny. It's really well done graphically, though I do feel like the graphics they're a little bit above 360. PS4, Xbox One.
I would say
graphics.
I would say that's
PS4.
comparable.
Yeah.
But it's still like that.
Looked
but
real
it
nice.
Still does enough that I'm like, this looks pretty cool, and the monsters look pretty scary, and they're different than the last game. You know, they stuck to the classic zombies a lot, and now it's no longer that way. And
It's static monsters.
Mm-hmm.
And even it's funnier. I heard it still does a well enough job. I remember there being because you hear like a big electric explosion when they first appear, and I remember like going through hallways and shotgunning, blasting a couple of them. And I'm like, cool. And I'm walking through the hallway and I hear like an electric explosion, and I was like, oh, one's coming. And then he just bolts around the corner and gets in my face within like a second, and actually made me jump. And I'm like, I knew he was there. Like, why did that scare the crap out of me? But he got so all up in my grill so fast. And I'm like, oh God, okay.
Oh, this is what it feels like to know fear again.
Yeah. And so that's what I mean, is that it still does a good enough job of what it's doing, and I like it. I like machine gun, shotgun. Give me some first aid kits. Give me, hey, we're gonna take your item. Now you can spin it 360 because there might be a hidden thing inside.
Oh,
Click
yeah.
the button. I was like, that's pretty.
Did you figure it out? No. Oh well. Better go take another look at it.
Move.
No, because those were even more ridiculous than what this does. This is like, oh, I'm going to flip it around. Okay, yeah, I can see it right there. In RE, it was like, all right, you found the button. Now this turns into a key. Now take this key over to the other room and replace this with the other key. Like, come on. Who had time to do that in this mansion? That's a dick move.
Yeah.
But you know what's not a dick move?
What's that?
Playing Daymare 1994. Check this out.
That machine gun felt like a pea shooter.
It did.
It was really hard to aim. It was like, I'm at the ceiling again.
Yeah,
burst fire, man. Burst fire.
So
I got that far where I started burst firing.
But the weapons did feel good. As ineffectual as I felt like with that machine gun, sometimes it had the right kind of ricochet. The shotguns had the right kind of kickback and the right kind of damage, so you could really lay to waste them. And the environment is really good. Like that, they deal with lighting very effectively. So even if it looks more akin to like a early PS4 game, like you said, the lighting really helps sort of hide that a bit too.
Yeah. And and again, like you get to like the really like ridiculousness, like you're on the radio and all of a sudden someone's like, okay, wait, we found more bodies. And you're like, well, I'm going to keep investigating. There's a whole science lab down here. And it's like, come on. Like,
Please don't. Let's go home. Let's just go home.
so, no, this isn't even supposed to be here. Why is there a whole lab down here? I better release the lockdown.
Yeah.
I mean, at a certain point, it's your own stupidity that gets in the way.
Yeah. And that's they definitely do that where it's like, well, I guess I better release the lockdown. Great, I released the lockdown. Now I can actually see what's going on here. That's not a good move at all.
The alternative is there's no game. All right. That's it.
Went home. No one died.
I'm not even sure that you could go home.
Oh, no.
It would be like,
You
what?
just-
Was it Far Cry 4?
Yep.
Where you could
And
just
5
choose
and 6, I think.
all of them then? Okay.
Yeah,
The-
they started doing that like every game now.
Infamous, I'm just going to sit here and not do anything ending.
It's an ending.
No, they give you
sure
credits.
is.
Put it
So-
on the beat list.
Yeah, I was going to say, that sounds like good opportunities.
I have no comment about that.
I mean, I've done it every time. I've never counted it until I did it the right way.
Well, there's just so much. I don't know. I could go off on a tirade about
you beat Daymare
that.
1998, right?
Hmm?
You beat Daymare 1998?
No, I never got a copy of it.
Oh, okay.
You were trying to sweet talk somebody, and all I got was this
I-
broken Yeti.
I have another one. for you. I was gonna say is
I
that
know.
I was wondering if you knew if this like what was the lore behind this? Did it end up being like what was the evil corporation? Because there is one, obviously, and then at the same time, what was like what's the lore of this being a prequel? Like, how does this work?
I'm sure that it is a prequel. How it all goes down, man, you got me.
Time for me to start investigating here.
Yeah, you should not use Google because no, don't do it. But that's not all, folks. We also played Cards Were Dealt. That's We Are. Cards We Are Dealt. And this one also kind of spooky. It is I got a lot of opinions about it. But Cards Were Dealt, first person, rogue, and it has a card, like a deck building element to it. You find out that in this spooky office building where you are, that you have died. And you need to try and discover what's going on, and maybe along the way find the other people that were also condemned to this afterlife. But on your course through the office building, you'll pick up cards that give you different abilities. Some of them as generic as jump, crouch. Others might be weapons, gun, pepper spray, or even boosts to your existing abilities like an increase to your sprint. So guys,
It's the worst. It's the worst kind of I died too. It's not even just like I've died, now I'm stuck in limbo. It's like your supervisor decided to unalive you, and now you
and
get
also
to find a
you're
way
part
out.
of like you're still part of the corporate structure. It's like, oh, by the way, you're still clock
Your
in, buddy.
Yeah, here purgatory is being chased by a shadow figure while going through file cabinets.
But again, remember to punch in ADP.
that's
Or
not
else
funny.
Linda in HR gets pissed.
I don't have a Linda in HR, so that's fine. You can make that joke. Don't you utter those other letters at me, though.
I have one. She yells at me every week. You didn't punch in yesterday. I know. I'll punch in tomorrow.
That's not how that works at all.
I don't punch in until Friday. Friday, I do all my punches.
Did any of you have a job where you actually had a physical time card you had to punch?
Yes.
You mean
Okay.
like dip
Yeah.
it through? No.
Yep.
No.
Yeah, that was my...
When I worked at Mikasa, I had one of those. Had to slide it under there, hit the button, and
That was one of my first jobs too. Yeah, and then inevitably you get the point where you forget for like an hour or a whole shift. Then you have to,
Yeah, I've done that, yeah.
you have to beg your supervisor, like, please acknowledge my work.
I used to work at Fry's Electronics, and you have to like scan your badge. And I know there was
Yep.
a kid who used to just walk in, scan his badge, and then leave again.
Oh,
I mean, good on him if he could get away with it.
They didn't catch him for like 5 weeks.
dang.
Where did he go? I don't know.
But I mean, the thing is, though, is that Fry's is actually real salty about that stuff to the point that they like will send you a bill.
Oh wow.
Yeah, Fry's is real salty about that stuff. Like they you know, if you because a lot of the time they work on also like commission, so it's like if all of a sudden like you sell a bunch of stuff for high commission and then everyone returns it, they start like asking for that money back.
Dang. Well,
Real salty.
sorry to bring you back to the corporate life, but how did you guys do when you were dealt your cards?
Poorly.
Can I just say your character's really clomping around in this? There's no like
Yeah.
stealth happening here.
No.
Thud, 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 thud.
I feel even with the crouch, it didn't help very much.
You gotta
just like-
gotta run, but it has a very small stamina bar.
Mm-hmm.
And
You're really just again letting everybody know you're announcing your presence.
Now, I thought that you would be able to crouch and go under a table because there's a lot of desks and tables, and that would make a really good way to hide because there's monsters, like these little static monsters, sometimes on 2 legs, sometimes on 4 legs that are coming after you. And I felt like there wasn't a good way to get away from them except to outrun them.
Yep.
So I was
You had
hoping
to start kiting them around.
Yeah.
To like areas you like, because the thing is always that unfortunately it's not like a move forward through a level, it's like kind of goal based, so there's like things that the game wants you to do. So it's like go to the elevator, but then go to this room, then go find this thing, and go, and like it keeps, and like it doesn't tell you it like explicitly, but like if you try to like go around away from what was going on, like I definitely like at one point was like, hey, the stairs, and it's like, and it kind of like was pointing me to go upstairs, and like, no, I'm going downstairs, and I end up like looping back to being upstairs again, and I was like, how did I even get here again? Like the game was like funneling me back to where like I needed to go, and I was like, I can't do anything.
It's limbo. Do directions even matter?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting from the game, was that it was limbo, and it doesn't matter. Just
What you described reminds me of Stanley Parable, where you're just going around in the circle endlessly.
Yes.
I gotta
like-
play the deluxe version. That deluxe version had like 10 new endings.
No.
Oh, man.
Yep. There's
No.
a whole section that just says, like, there's a sign that just says DLC, go here.
Yeah, okay. I can't brag. I didn't do much better. I feel like even my longest run, I didn't get accomplished what I wanted to. I kept finding like little things that is like, you should definitely go here or try and do this. And then again, if you can't outrun the monsters, then you're sunk. And you die. You start over from scratch with the cards. You got to find them again.
There is some sort of currency that you gain through it that can be used to buy additional cards in the main menu, if I read it right. So that must be the roguelike mechanic at play there, or the stretch of how you set it up. But I never got a good opportunity to use the cards in a meaningful way. So it's got to be a pretty tough hurdle to start, I guess, before you get to that point.
I feel like they could do a little bit of a better job not making you feel so entirely helpless. You know what I mean?
Oh, but you are. It's corporate
Yeah,
life.
well, I mean, there's a way to like make yourself like you could feel okay movement wise. You know, have a couple of cards and still get smoked, and that's like better than just like the game actively like one not giving you a whole lot of feedback, not giving you a whole lot of options, and then also smoking you.
Yeah, good
You know what I
corporate
mean?
life gives you the impression that you're not hopeless. You know it.
And that's what I'm saying. This game doesn't give you the impression that you're not hopeless. It feels hopeless from the jump.
Yeah.
So I would like give my 2 weeks on this. Not on the game, but on this in this job. I would give my 2 weeks because they're not like lie to me a little, man.
Yeah, well, joke's on you. You're already dead, so.
Once the facade is pulled, man, then I only need to work as hard as to not get fired.
Need to work just as hard as the least likely guy. Yep.
Again, lie to me. Give me that carrot on the stick, baby. And that's what this game I feel like doesn't accomplish. It just needs a little bit more of like a make that dash feel good, make your feet feel a little lighter, give you some like they gave me a handgun and I was like, sweet, one shot gone. I was like, crap. Like give me what was it? What was it? Neon White. Neon White gave you a handgun with like 3 bullets, right? Mm-hmm. That felt like pretty good.
But that also had like an aux on the gun too.
Yeah, but I just mean that like if you give me a little bit more ammo, it feels a little less it feels a little less suffocating.
Well,
maybe that's what the game wants is to be suffocating, but for me that's it didn't play well to make me like it didn't grab me to want to keep going. It felt like it was like a little bit like I just didn't want I wanted to get a breather away from the game.
All right.
I definitely shot that the first second I got it, and then realized that nope, you're done after that. It just felt a little too lumbering, I think.
And also when you shoot the enemies, they die instantly, but they respawn somewhere else in the hallway. So it's like one of those things that again, it's like it's supposed to be used as like I just need like the exit is right behind them. Otherwise, I should be kiting them around because they do disappear after a bit.
Yep.
So I think that it just could do a little bit better, just with a little bit of extra feeling of like I was a little bit like more powerful and less suffocating. But it was an interesting concept nonetheless.
We did okay. Maybe the corporate life isn't for everybody, but hope you'll check out Cards Were Dealt. Let's go ahead and turn on all the lights and lock the doors and take a break to try and get over all the scariness that happened. We'll be back. Hey news, I will never not buy cool video game artwork at conventions. Shout out to Asen, that place was wild.
What cool video game artwork was?
Yeah, I was gonna say, what did you get this week? I know the statue, but what else?
Oh, I found an original artwork that somebody drew based on the character from original Valkyrie Profile.
Oh, very nice.
And I was like, hey, can I get Lenneth? And she was like, oh my gosh, nobody knows this character. And I was like, yeah, this guy. So, artist was geeking out just about as much as I was. This is a lot of fun.
And then you got that Joker statue.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was worth it. Especially since the guy was like, yeah, you could go and get it on the website. And I was like, just give me the display. All right. Yeah.
$20 off. Give me the display. Done.
Yeah. Like, I'm not going to sit there and play Persona 5 8 more times. Joke's on them.
My daughter's collection of Yoshis, there's like a real one set of Yoshis. They're all the same size and frame, but they all have a bunch of varying colors, and I keep getting her new ones, and each time I ask her which one she wants, and this week she asked for gray Yoshi.
That was
no other Yoshi
so
color would do.
Weird to me that there's gray Yoshi. I don't know, man.
5 of them. I think she has 4 or 5 of them now. She has purple, royal blue, baby blue, and pink, and now gray. She has green, but it's a different form factor. I'm going to throw that one away.
Get you a good one. Let's get this thing out of here.
If it doesn't match the set, then what are we doing?
I don't know. Nobody knows. All right, news this week. We got a lot to cover, but Alex's body is not going to hold out, so we're going to go at an appropriate speed for everybody.
I am wrestling it.
First up, Above Snakes Goes 1.0. Hey, you guys remember us talking about Above Snakes?
No, I was out for this week. What was that one?
I liked that game. It was a survival game where you expanded the map by tiles as you gathered enough resources and upgraded your stuff.
Oh, wait, no, I was here for that one. Yeah, that was a cute one. That was a good one. It was fun.
Hey, you want to know how much it is? Head over to Steam and you can get it for $25 right now.
10% off, actually.
10%. After tax, you can get it for $25. Yep. Oh, you know what else? I'm very interested in this one. Dino Punk. That also went 1.0, I believe. What, today?
Today.
Yep.
That's also 10% off, or about $15 over on Steam. Do you want to go back and build a time machine so that you can find true love as a dinosaur that's currently working in a repair shop in a cyber city?
Yep.
Yeah, I do. I definitely do. Mm-hmm. All right, we got the fun stuff out of the way. Now into the nitty gritty. PlayStation Showcase was yesterday.
Yep.
Today's Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
Tomorrow is Labor Day.
Yep. Tomorrow?
Just kidding, and it's Memorial Day, Alex. Come on, get your holidays right.
Man, I don't know what day it is today.
I forgot that there was a holiday next week.
Yeah.
Until somebody told me, hey, set your out of office for that day. And nice surprise.
It's weirder that people set their out of office.
Why?
I never do.
We have to.
I never do.
Because everybody loses their mind the second that they email you and you're not there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I already checked that, Alex. You don't have to type that in there. All right. So PlayStation Showcase, this thing was crazy. I did get a chance to watch it last night.
Yeah.
There were a bunch of what are sequels and some remakes in there.
And some also like the developers that we really like having their second game.
Yeah. So one of the things that I saw that it's not on this, just double checking, was not that Phantom Blade.
This is just for me. This was my hot list.
Yeah.
Anybody could add more.
So Phantom Blade, it has I don't know how to describe it except for like a mashup between, I want to say, Bayonetta meets like, I almost want to say Onimusha.
The way I heard it was that it was like Sekiro and mixed with, what's it called, the samurai game that you just played.
That I
Ghost
just
of
played?
Tsushima?
Ghosts? Yeah.
Ghost of Tsushima.
Oh, but the character has 66 days to live, and it just was very visually stunning. And the moves that you're doing are just all over the place, crazy.
Yep.
While there were a couple of scenes with like
ghosts and demons,
but you're on a stagecoach. There you go, stagecoach, and you're jumping between horses, and there's stuff flying at you. But your character's also doing like these really cool pivots and twists with the katana. So that one really looked cool to me. And then another one that I didn't see Alex put on here.
Before you get there, the words that I kept going to my mouth were like, is this Tenchu? Are we back with Tenchu? Is Tenchu back? Give me Tenchu. I don't care whatever it is. It's not the original Tenchu. I don't care. And I was a little bummed. I'm still glad that we have this one. It looks sick, but I was waiting for like them to say, "Oh, it's the new Tenchu."
No, this one that looked pretty cool. And then there's one more that I wanted to toss out there that Alex didn't put on it. The Plucky Squire. I really not sure why you didn't put that on there, because this gave me some old school Zelda vibes, but at the same time, I kept thinking 30 Birds. The way that your character is moving between the environments, going around in a bedroom, and as you're going from like bookshelf to bookcase, like onto a book, you're shifting. Like everything is shifting, the environment, your perspective. Things are going absolutely crazy.
I think the reason why I didn't put on there is because this was already announced. So this was something that we've seen before, and we've actually discussed it during whether it was like an indie direct or something else. It was announced somewhere else. So that's why I didn't throw that on there. I was like,
really?
Yeah, we know this one.
I guess I just didn't see it. Maybe it was on that last Nintendo, because I missed that for sure. Okay, but otherwise, all of the other games that everybody's already excited about. Final Fantasy 16, of course, made an appearance. Nothing new that we saw. Spider-Man 2, this had a full 15 minutes at the end. You got to see some of the coolest stuff, in my opinion.
Alex, did you take a look at this one, man?
Yeah, I did. I am super excited.
As someone who's like in the middle of Spider-Man 1, this is real. This
is something to look forward to.
Oh man, Miles getting the ability to make lines that you can walk
Yes.
on. I'm so looking forward to that. That has been my biggest gripe.
It's that you have to use all of the pre-existing environment to move around. Yeah, this is between that and then seeing the Venom powers that Spider-Man has. Whoo!
Yep.
I don't know.
He's so aggressive.
He's real mad. He's so upset.
He's so pissed.
Peter's not having a great day. I mean, after the events of the last game and then what happens to Miles, man, I wouldn't be having a great day either. So he's understandably upset about a lot of stuff going on. Other than that, I mean, I don't think we want to try and spoil anything for Alec, but this is you should keep an eye out on this.
So what you're saying is I should play this instead of Yakuza.
You should
maybe
play some Spider-Man every now and again, but also the second that Spider-Man 2 comes out, show up at Alex's house and be like, I'm here to play. And then kick him off of his PlayStation.
That's fine. You can do that.
He'll be on his work computer, keep going, aw, man.
Maybe I'll play with my Project Q.
That'd be kind of cool.
That's a Sony PlayStation handheld tablet with the DualSense controller on either side.
That's what they called it?
Yep.
No, it was called Project Q.
I don't think it might have a real name now, but I thought they said previously called this. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of neat, especially because it streams directly from your PlayStation. So if you have it downloaded on there, don't have to. No muss, no fuss. It's the.
Is your TV's free then, right?
I can only assume that it would have to be because you just have to have the PlayStation on. You're streaming directly from it, so you'd be able to watch television and play on this thingy.
Then the tricky part is that I was like, when this was originally being developed, the backstory was that this may be, you have to be on the same Wi-Fi, so you can't like be somewhere else. Like you have to be at home.
Has that been confirmed?
No, it hasn't been. That's why I was saying that in the original rumor of the development, they said that it does seem very short-sighted, as like you can't take this on the road. But again, not to be confirmed. We don't have a whole lot of details on it. I just I'm very curious about it.
Yeah.
And what would be the appropriate price point for people who don't for like Joel and Getty? Like what would be an appropriate price point for you to play your PS5 without taking up the television?
So a Backbone costs $100 right now.
Mm-hmm.
$150 I think is where I'd top off.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm in the same price range. Will I buy it anyway? Man, probably. There's a couple of... You guys know me. I'm playing the most obnoxiously long games possible, so... I still haven't looked at how long this One Piece game is going to take me to finish, but... And then whatever it says on the internet, just add like 30 hours, and then...
15 to 20,
yeah. And that seems fair.
Yeah, that's fine. You're a completionist, man. Get that stuff, grind it out. But I think I was just double checking because I was thinking like 100, but like I could see myself going 150, but I don't think I'd want to go much further than that. I got a Steam Deck, man.
No, and especially if it's only locally, because like the whole appeal of the Backbone is that as long as you've got an internet connection somewhere and have the ability to do like remote play on your phone, you just slide it in and go. You know.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea of it having the actual DualSense controller stuff built in is kind of neat because those are some cool controllers. But no, if it's 200 plus, then that's a no-go.
Yeah, it's hard.
The Backbone, I will say that it's got some real squishy triggers and that are not amazing. Everything else is fine with it though.
Squishy triggers.
Mm-hmm.
Jumping back into it, Metal Gear Solid 3 Remake.
We've been reporting on them rumors, and it's finally here.
It's really real.
What a thrill.
It's happening. And you know what else is happening? Metal Gear Solid Collection Volume 1 coming this fall. So that's original 1, 2, 3. Hopefully no upgrades to it. I want blocky graphics on my PlayStation 5.
The tricky part about this is that it might be just the HD collection again.
I would imagine.
Which that already exists. As in like for Vita and like, you know, the older games where it's Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, and 3. The other part is that they call this Volume 1. So, and since that the HD collection has only had Volume 1, like it's never had the word volume. So the question is, what is Volume 2? Which means there are 2 games that are stuck on their respective consoles, which is Twin Snakes and Metal Gear Solid 4. Those would be the number 1 places to get those updated. Also, not what is the one that's like a side like the branch between Peace Walker. No, it's Peace Walker.
Portal Ops or something like that.
No,
there's
it's
a
Peace
PSP
Walker.
one.
No, it's Peace Walker. So it's Snake Eater and then Peace Walker, then Metal Gear Solid 5. So if Peace Walker is stuck on the PSP, that'd be nice to have that one available now to play on your PS5 as well.
So the hype is real.
I think there's some Game Boy Color ones too that were almost like card based.
That's Metal Gear Acid.
Yeah. Oh, those are PSP then, weren't they? I
think so.
Yeah.
Yes. At least one of them. Talos Principle 2. When did the first one come out?
A while ago. Do you like those games?
I have no idea. I saw this and I was like, why does this seem familiar? And then it was like, Talos Principle 2.
Let's see here. 2014.
So it's been
9 years.
A couple of minutes.
So the Talos Principle is a more depressing and less comedic version of Portal. So if you like Portal puzzles, it is excellent for that. Just the AI is more kind of like a bummer, telling you like, all life is meaningless, and like making those kinds of jokes. You're just gonna fail anyways, because you know we all die in the end. Those kinds of jokes, as opposed to like you suck jokes. But it's very, very Portal like.
Okay.
So yeah.
Ghost Runner 2.
I mean, we played the demo here on the podcast. The parkour, runny, shooty, slashy game. It's really fun. I want to go and play the full game.
Yeah, and now motorcycles.
Yep. Exciting.
That's what I took away from that trailer.
It's real good.
Next up, Revenant Hill. From the people who brought you A Night in the Woods. Same art style. Yeah?
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah.
I really like that game. I think that more people should play it.
Now something that I'm absolutely looking forward to. Alan Wake 2. I don't know what I have to say about this. Yes.
People were really excited to see some favorite characters come back, as well as the voice actors coming back.
New people. Crazy storyline. I expect nothing else.
Yeah, you got some good story about being in the horror book and stuff like that, etc.
Oh, come on. He's writing a book in limbo about a serial killer case, and the FBI is called in, or what? Their partner dies or goes missing or something like that. Good old Alan Wake.
Daddy, I played about 2 hours of that game and jumped off. I just want you to know that.
Cat Quest 3. Cat Quest 3. Another game out. This is not Cat Quest 3. This is Cat Quest, pirates, cat pirates of the Caribbean. Yeah.
Are you
So
telling me that this is a...
This is not a direct
Cat Quest
sequel.
Gaiden?
This is new. I'm gonna play
reboot?
Cat. No,
Is this a reboot, prequel, side story?
it's got to be
What
a
are we
side
doing?
story. I don't. It didn't. They didn't explicitly say Cat Quest 3.
You gotta tell me the lore, Getty. Where are we at? Did part 2 leave you in a cliffhanger, or did it like...
How much time do you
end
have?
the franchise?
These are very in-depth games. There's a
I'm
lot
not
going
joking.
on.
Did we end the franchise of Cat Quest 2 and now they found a way to kind of tell a different story in the same Cat Quest universe? Is this a Cat Quest multiverse?
I don't know. We need to get into the new Cat Quest game to find out what it's all about, man.
Oh, I get it. We're gonna try to reach out to some devs. We're gonna try to get some codes. We need you to tell us.
Yeah.
We need the report in on the Cat Quest lore.
I know. I played the first two,
I know. I'm
To
not
completion.
joking.
and then I played them some more because you can level your character up to stupid levels.
Can.
Now we're going to... Was it Neva? Neva? What do you think? Neva? From the creators of Greece.
Gree.
Greh.
It means gray. So yeah.
Bleh. Bleh.
These guys, again, it's been a while. Glad to have them back. Let's get some more of that artsy fartsy. Make you kind of sad, but also make you happy and hopeful at the same time.
Artsy fartsy.
Destroy me.
Super GG Radio, where we
Emotionally
oversimplify your games.
Emotionally wreck me, is what I'm going to say.
Not bad enough you spent the last 48 hours in the bathroom. No.
I said emotionally wreck me.
Yeah, and I'm just going along with it.
Oh, he's too busy bringing this podcast down to the toilet.
Yeah, we
Keep
are.
going. Let's keep going. Next game.
Yeah, besides Bungie's revival of Cade 6 and Destiny, you can also look forward to Bungie's new, there's big air quotes there, new game, Marathon. Now, Marathon is actually a game that Bungie developed and put out, or at least the original was, in the 90s.
There's a couple of them.
There is a trilogy.
There you go.
So for them to bring new Marathon into existence, very interesting. From what we've heard, there was not a lot to go on based solely on the trailer. But
The
as
early word is that it's an extraction shooter.
it's a PvP, yeah. And
Extraction shooters are so hot right now.
the weird part about Bungie is that at a certain point during not Halo, we're going too far back. During Destiny, they decided they were going to start to do like these hidden codes and everything in the games, and now their trailers are including them because people were able to decipher and find this information about what Marathon will be just by spending a few hours messing around online.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you saw the trailer, right? There was no context. You go on the website, just about as much. And then people were able to decrypt some of the screens that they saw, and then they figured out, hey, this is what it is.
Oh, it's an ARG.
Yeah.
Cool. I like ARGs.
Yeah, they've done a lot of those over the last several years. It's just weird to me that at a certain point they were like, we're going to put this right here. I don't have time for that kind of stuff. Too busy being sad. You know why I'm sad?
Why is that?
Because we're not going to see Persona 6 until maybe 2024.
Yep, that's the current rumor, is that they have been working on it. There is, art being developed and game processes being developed, and they are further along than people think. But that further along than people thinks means end of 2024. Maybe.
Let me throw out some names here. You tell me which one's coming first, all right? Persona 6,
Okay.
Starfield, Silksong.
We have a release date technically for 2 of those. So I'm
Oh, yeah?
assuming
No,
the
it's
2
so-
is-
Oh, yeah?
Starfield, Persona.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that'll wrap up the Xbox exclusive. This is the
Where's
worst.
Alec?
Worst Xbox exclusive I've ever seen.
Which two do we have dates for?
Yeah, which two?
We have a quarter for a Silk Song, and we have a release date for Starfield.
Oh, sure, yeah. And we had one of those before, right? How many times?
But I we're getting to the point that I think that, like, if anything gets
Oh,
pushed
wait,
back,
this
it's
one's
gonna
for real.
Yeah.
It's going to be like, well, I'm just saying is that if you push it back a certain number of times, and the closer you get, you can only push it back like a certain length.
All right,
of time.
let me
Look,
pitch.
this is Bethesda. It'll come out and it'll be hot garbage, and then it'll take years to fix it. And then it'll still be broken.
When does it really count as being released at that point? If you put out a heap of trash and you have to patch it like 15 times in the first 30 days that it's out, does it count as being out?
I think you have to actively remove it from the digital storefronts for it to be redacted.
No
Okay.
Man's Sky did that, didn't they?
It was Arkham, one of the Arkham games, yeah? Remember that?
No.
Wasn't it the third Arkham game?
Arkham Knight, maybe?
Yeah.
Was Cyberpunk one of those too?
Cyberpunk got pulled, yeah. So new tagline for Starfield is coming soon.
We'll get it on the second time?
No takesy backsies.
There you go.
Yeah. All right. Just two more quick pieces of news here before we get to the best part of the show. Until Dawn devs making a single-player Dead by Daylight. There's a lot to unpack here. So Until Dawn, not just known for Until Dawn at this point, they also have their own Dark Pictures anthology that they've put out, as well as one of our favorite games from last year.
The Quarry.
Anybody? There we go. The Quarry.
Their name is Supermassive Games.
There you go.
But they at this point they have become a multi-game studio.
And Dead by Daylight is a... What is it?
It's a
Asynchronous
There we go.
survival game. One person's the killer, and then 3 or 4 people are meant to survive and find a way out.
Yes, and when it started, they had original enemy villains. So because of that, all it takes is for Supermassive to put a story behind it. Who are these teens and who are these murderers?
And now Dead by Daylight has Nick Cage, so take that for what you will.
He also did every single voice line to every single sound effect.
Mm-hmm. Every single grunt that you hear is really him.
Not playing a character, just Nick Cage.
Just Nick Cage.
That's all you need, man.
I don't know if that makes it better or worse or somewhere in between.
Somewhere in between,
Yeah.
definitely.
And then, gosh, this was just a great week to be me. I don't know about you guys. Warhammer 40K coming to Power Wash Simulator. Guys, I only have dabbled a little bit in Warhammer in the 40K variety, but the stuff that you're going to be able to clean off, whew, it's going to be gross.
Skulls, blood for the blood throne.
It's going to be, I'm sure that it's going to be like, here, clean off this battleship that's soaked in blood. Power armor.
Just for reference, Getty, I have not booted it up, but it is installed with all the current DLC.
Is that on the Steam?
Yes.
Okay. You let me know. You pick a day this weekend.
Let me
because
get
it's
you
a
the tutorial on a mission or two, and I'll let you know.
Oh, okay. We can do the mini golf course. I heard that's a lot of fun.
I had to say goodbye to my other game.
This'll fill that void, trust me.
Yeah.
All right. Time for them freebies.
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 Freebies!
Ooh, freebies in the house.
That's pretty good.
That was awful. Don't ever use that for anything else.
Oh man, I'm gonna clip it now.
Yeah, I know.
I'm looking for. I'm trying to find the Getty clips that I had. I wanted to make those emotes so that people could have audio clips during our stream.
Getty
And that
clip
one
of the
I'll definitely
week. Now with more sadness. All right.
The more clean reads you give me, the more I'm going to use, right?
Oh, I know. I'm so
Keep
sad.
giving me more clean reads, Getty. Go ahead, go.
I'm so sad of the things that are going to happen to my voice. All right, freebies this week. Oh, man, Fallout New Vegas over on the Epic Game Store. I don't think anybody needs you to describe what Fallout New Vegas is. Suffice to say, this is the pinnacle of Fallout. Go get it right now. I'm not explaining it. We're moving on to the next one. And that is Attic Panic. Early access over on Steam.
A 2 to 4 player top-down supernatural roguelite shooter where you play as possessed toys. Possessed toys by Eldritch Horrors.
Ooh. Terrifying.
Yep, and they battle each other to entertain the entity, which grants players unique powers and abilities at the end of each round. So you could be like a tank that has a tentacle monster on it, or just like all of these different like little cutesy toys, and you're just like on this map that's just like an attic with boxes everywhere and other random items, and you're going around driving and shooting each other. Top down, looks like a hoot.
And that's early access?
Yes, sir.
Should check it out. Next one, not necessarily a new game, but it's new to Steam.
There's something going on because it's popping off right now. Like something happened, either it was like a new update or something, but it's popping off right now. It's like a lot of people are talking about it again, and I don't know what happened.
About what?
But Magic the Gathering Arena on Steam, free.
I think it's because it's on Steam now.
Oh,
Yep.
maybe that's
Before you had to download a separate app for your computer or a program, whatever we're calling them now, and then you log in through that and play. But it looks like you can now link your Magic the Gathering Arena through Steam.
perfect.
So you don't know how to play? Reach out to Alec and I, and we will make you sad. I'll make you sad. I play at least a couple of matches every day.
Are you going to try to see if it works on your Steam Deck?
I already have it on my phone, and that's my primary play location now that it's on Android for the last year, maybe year and a half.
Yeah.
That's where I play. All right, next up, Cards and Tankards, Steam VR. This is
Joel.
very specific.
Joel,
What?
you want to play Cards and Tankards?
Maybe.
We could be at an old-timey inn and drink tankards of ale and then play cards where our cards become action figures and then battle.
I'm more interested now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you
Grab
throw
a
an
drink,
action
invite your
figure?
friends and ready your decks. Cards and Tankards is the first social collectible card game.
That just sounds delightful.
It does. You grab a beer and you sit down. You have your deck of cards and then you put them on the table, Yu-Gi-Oh style, and then they become little characters that pop up and then they fight.
You're going to play Yu-Gi-Oh?
I mean, this looks like it actually kind of honestly looks a little more like Magic the Gathering. So,
But we already covered that one. Okay.
but in VR.
In VR.
Okay.
Pixel Starships over on Steam.
This is a turn-based, pixel art spaceships management sim. You're leveling up different sections of your spaceship and expanding, like a farming simulator, trying to get more efficiency out of your ship, and then going and getting into combat, which is again turn-based, attacking certain parts of ships, and you maintaining those parts of your ships as you're getting attacked as well.
And last on the docket is Hue. That's like the color shade.
H-U-E.
H-U-E. Hue. Steam. That's where it is.
This is actually a real hot one that a lot of people. This was a very big surprise that it actually is free right now. So Hue is a platformer. You are a little character that's just like a black silhouette, and you're going through puzzle challenges. You could pick from green and different hues of blue, purple, pink, red, orange, yellow in a circle. When you pick a color, it changes the background. Sometimes items will only appear when other background colors are selected, so you have to use the color wheel to change your environment, thus making it so that you can solve puzzles. This one actually has a really high, people have talked a lot of good stuff about Hue.
Yep.
So it's really clever and fun and cutesy, but also at the same time it does a lot with a very simple mechanic. So Hue is a good one. It's personally was on my wish list, and I'm very surprised that it's now free.
Yeah, they don't just give away stuff for free off very often.
That's like a really well critically acclaimed game.
Yup. Well, if I learned anything, it's that I should just leave my wallet at home, not get myself anything at these conventions, but that's fine. A lesson that I will never learn. Let's take a break real quick and then come back and finish this off. Alec, did you point? Okay, there we go. I was like, hold on, I'm trying to scan in these cards to see if anything's worth money. And actually it is. Nissa Resurgent Animist is worth $40, so that's nice.
Nice.
Someone told me to buy the 17-year-old, buy rookie cards of a 17-year-old hockey player who's going to be the first pick of the Blackhawks.
Yeah, but you know how that stuff goes.
Well, I spent $40, so we'll see.
Well, hopefully that works out for you. If not, you've always got the Backlog blog. That's right, we're back. And we're going to play some games to pay off our enormous debt. Now, when you say enormous, Alex, what is enormous in terms of Hardspace Shipbreaker?
Woo! What was it, in the quadrillions, Joel? You saw that number. That was a big number.
Something absurd. The kind of number
Yeah.
my kids would guess that they would want amount of money of. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Inappropriate.
It was a lot of money. It was, debt, whatever. Okay, so that's 1,000. That's $1 million. Okay, it's not the worst.
It's like 100 Elon Musks.
Oh, come on.
$1,252,594,441.92.
Okay.
It's only $1 billion?
Only $1 billion.
Only a schmillion.
Yeah.
These are space bucks or they're regular bucks?
It's got the dollar sign, so I'm gonna say it's the dollar.
Okay. Not the strongest currency, but sure. You know.
Nope. What is the strongest currency, Getty?
Time.
I'm off the clock,
The
so you're
ruble?
gonna have to pay extra.
The ruble?
No. No.
Canadian dollar?
No. You wouldn't guess it. I think it's the Kuwaiti dinar.
Okay, I've had the dinar before. I have the dinar somewhere, actually.
You got Kuwaiti
I-
money?
I finally beat Hardspace Shipbreakers. It was a sad state of affairs to end on. Because I didn't want it to end. I didn't want it to go away. It doesn't have to go away, but I mean,
He has to put
I-
it away. He's
there
legally
is a story,
obligated
and
to.
I finished it.
Beth said, if you keep playing this, don't bother coming home.
It's such a good podcast game. It's just so relaxing and soothing. I mean, it's relaxing and soothing till it's not.
What makes it a podcast game, though?
It means I can just turn off my brain and just kind of like sit there and like watch something else. I could be playing the game and barely paying attention. It goes my body goes into automatic pilot playing the game.
Okay.
I did that.
You will get there are many series of classes of spaceship, and they become more difficult as you progress through your story. And the story really progresses with you. You are a hard space shipbreaker, which means that you are essentially you're
You're a scrapper. You're scrapping
scrapper.
ships.
But you are given this large amount of debt that you have to pay off, and when you die, they will create a new body to put your consciousness into, but that also increases your debt because you have to pay for it. Getting new inventory and stuff like that increases your debt, so you have to buy new items that you will need when shipbreaking. And the ships get harder as you progress. The more money you make, the more level you rank up, and then the harder ships to get available to you. And that's kind of the story follows that kind of progression, is that it follows you. If you're not ship breaking too well, the story, they have a lot of interstitial conversation between you and the other breakers in your area that you guys can have like just a good conversation in between you breaking these ships down.
Do they give you tips?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they do a pretty good job of giving you of tutorializing, and also the breakers having like kind of jokes and giving you ideas and stuff like that.
No gratuity, Alec.
Yeah. Oh, tip. No, there's no tip. The tools of the trade are, you have like a grapple gun that can also be used to pull objects around, and then you also get tethers, which are really fun. You will tether two things together, and they will bring them together, which is fine if you're like taking a giant honking piece of ship and you want to put it in the pile where it needs to go. You tether it to the pile, and you'll see the thing slowly move across the little field. And you get stuff like that. You also get these discs that will make an explosion that will slice through thick pieces of metal that you can't get through with your normal plasma cutter, which you also have, which can shoot in a straight laser beam or give you a slice vertically or horizontally. There are 3 types of items. There's ones for the garbage, the processing, and then the special stuff they want to keep. The special stuff is like nuclear reactors and other stuff. And it's fun. It's sorting. It's finding the pieces and finding ways how to take them apart the right way, because at certain points there are pieces that are a little bit more finicky. You have to pull out all the coolant before you disconnect certain reactors, because if you don't, then the reactor will all of a sudden go into meltdown mode, and instead of having 30 seconds to get it to the right part that you need to sort it, you have 10 seconds. On top of that also is that if you're going to disconnect the reactor and initiate the meltdown, hey, make sure you've cleared a path first. So like start chopping down whole sections of the wall, check the whole wall out, and clear other stuff out before you pull out the reactor. I've made that mistake once or twice.
How bad does it feel when you do something like that and you're like, oh man?
Well, it feels real bad, mostly because there is like a level. There's like a meter at the top of how much money you're making and how much you're improving on breaking the ship down. But then there's also the other side of that goes red as things get destroyed. And there's always going to be a little bit of red because you're cutting pieces off the ship. But all of a sudden you see it fill up with red for a giant portion, and you're like, oh man, that's a lot of money. And that like got pulled off of I was going to make that money, and now it's out. Or
so is this
dying.
First person, third person?
First person. And like dying is really like, when you die, it's very jolting. Like an explosion will happen, and all of a sudden you'll just like the whole screen will go white, and it's like very quickly. So to die is very like you get sucked some, like if you're cutting through a wall and you did not relieve the cabin pressure from having an airlock, you all of a sudden get sucked into a wall, and all of a sudden you crack through your helmet, and it's violent. Then all of a sudden you just hear the flatline sound, and it's like, whew, I didn't expect that. It's just like it's a jump scare a little bit, just like clam, dead. So it's that, like you kind of after a while, it becomes very second nature to like, okay, so gonna go over here and just gonna cut this over here. Oh, that I didn't release the airlock. Let me grab something on the side so I don't get sucked anywhere. And okay, gotta watch out for this reactor. I'm gonna come back to that one. Okay, I gotta take the furnace out of here, but I gotta hit the switch to clear out the fuel lines, because if I take the...
This is fun, Alex trying to explain the order of operations for astrophysicists, like building like a astro engineer, right? Because you're reverse engineering this spaceship.
I think I'd mentioned this to Joel a while ago, but there's one part where you're supposed to take out the middle, like in the thruster, there's like a middle core that you want, but by doing so, it's also connected to a bunch of fuel lines. And if you cut the fuel lines, it's going to explode. So what you have to do is you take the cores in the middle, you tether the core to a wall, and you cut the fuel lines. Move out of the way. The core comes flying out because you tethered it. You run in through the flames and turn off the fuel line before it explodes.
And how many tries did it take you to figure that one out?
5.
All right.
5 with
Wow.
very violent reactions, because doing so also causes the fuel lines to like split, and that can shake you and slam you into a wall and also crack your helmet. Or again, if you don't do it fast enough, the whole thing just explodes in your face.
Nice.
And that's one way. People are doing other different things. Like I saw somebody who found a coolant tank and threw it in there and bounced it off the wall, and all of a sudden it started shooting coolant and it froze all the fuel lines. And I was like, oh, wow, that seems horribly lucky, and I don't feel lucky. So no, that's not an option for me.
I don't know.
So it's very fun because there's just so many ways to do something, and after a while it just it becomes like a process. It's just like, okay, let's go through the steps, and it's very relaxing. I'm gonna have my second monitor up with like an anime I'm watching, and I'm just gonna be over here just breaking this thing down. And it's very it really is satisfying to have this big spaceship, and you can go through and like, oh, here's the cabins, here's the front consoles, here's the engineering room, here's the cafeteria, here's where the actual engines are and the reactor. But then like by you've gone through like an hour of doing this, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, well, here is just the last panel, and now the whole field is empty. Wash my hands and go home. And it feels good. It feels good that you brought it down to just a panel of the wall, and you ditched it all, and you made a bunch of money.
And then you get blown up.
Well, again, not at that point. But the next ship, you never know. That's the whole thing. Shipbreaking's dangerous. And there's like a lot of there's a good bit at the end where it just kind of flips it a little bit on its head, the process, and it becomes pretty fun. So overall it does what it needs to do, which is just it puts you in a zen state of relaxation while going through a rope process. Hey, it seems like I like these kinds of games, huh?
Yeah.
House Flipper and the like. So I think that more people should play Hardspace Shipbreakers, if anything, just to just enjoy the relaxing parts, and then also piecing together what you need to do and trying to like, okay, how can I get around this without murdering myself? You accidentally pull the rod, you try to pull a fuse, and all of a sudden, it's happened quite a few times in real life and in the game.
Yeah. But then still also blow yourself up anyway.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
in real life and in the game.
Well, I mean,
Alex is really a clone.
I'm just not good at working with live voltage, guys. Like,
he's
not my forte.
he's having a week here. Just leave him be. No, in all seriousness, though, this is something that you've enjoyed playing for the last couple
like
of
40 hours.
Yeah, and
and also, if anybody actually gets into it, let me know if you're like on Game Pass or something, because there is like a breakdown like race, so you can race each other. Like you get the same ship and then you break them down so you can get it done faster.
It is definitely installed on my Xbox with the intention to try it.
you heard it
I
here.
don't-
Yeah, what I'm saying is that if you get like 10 hours in, you're like, I kind of like this, let me know, and I'll be like, okay, we're gonna race.
All right.
Yeah, you're gonna race. Are
Just so I
you?
can feel good about the talent I've gained, because otherwise it just goes to waste. Can't do anything with the skill that I've learned.
I mean, yeah. All right. Gotta do what you gotta do, man.
Yep.
So that's it for the Hardspace Shipbreaking. Alex is off of his old train. He's got to hop on a new one.
Power Wash Simulator, baby.
Yeah, you better. Like I said, you just tell me. I'm staring at it right now.
Installed.
Power
Let's
do this.
Wash Simulator.
Alex, are you feeling okay? Because this one didn't make me sad.
Well, again, I didn't tell you the whole story. I didn't want to ruin the.
No,
twist
don't.
and all
It's
that.
a
Don't.
hardship's life.
Oh, no. No. Absolutely not.
What else, Getty?
Boo. right. Well, I'll just get this one out of the way so that you never have to hear about it again. Easily up there, definitely made my top 10 list for the year, even though we're not even halfway through. Probably made my top 3. Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I did the thing all the way through. Man.
Very nice.
Speaking of gonna miss, gonna miss
You
it.
didn't want it to end, huh?
I didn't want it to end. And there were even some parts of it I was like, man, I don't want to do that. Because I knew I knew what it was going to imply. So I had a lot of fun with this one. Nobody has made it through the first one. I think a couple of you guys started to subject yourselves to the original Jedi Fallen Order.
I did start.
I wouldn't call it subject.
Yeah.
It's a good game.
Yeah.
It's Souls in a small capacity. The second one feels even less. Maybe it's just because I was so accustomed to the controls and I knew what I was doing after playing the first one, but it's not as unforgiving as your Elden Ring or your Demon Souls or what have you, Dark Souls. But at the same
Not
time,
a lot is as like a lot of things are more forgiving than those games. Those games are brutal.
What I noticed in the few hours of the first one is that they checkpoint a lot more
you can, yeah.
in this, which makes it a lot more approachable or manageable when you keep on getting bodied by some big monster.
But this one takes a slightly different approach. Instead of, like in the first one, you have access to a gigantic open start area. You don't have to fly in between the planets. There are less planets in Jedi Survivor, but the ones that you do have access to are still quite large, and you need to go back after unlocking certain abilities. And they played it really well. You know, coming back to a game after a number of years, you're always like, oh, why did the character lose all their abilities? Well, in a lot of ways, Cal didn't lose all of his abilities. He just has different abilities that you have access to start. And then this one built on the existing lightsaber styles and added 2 more that you were able to play with. The blaster stance and the broadsword. So you have the heavy style of the broadsword, which I barely used, and then the blaster style, which I spent most of the game in, just because the quickness of the attacks is like having a fencing saber and then at the same time a long range weapon. But
That's pretty cool.
yeah, all the customizable features, you can change your lightsaber all the way across the board, from hilt to emitter to the color of it, and just the story that continues on from the first game. This felt fantastic. And
What color is your lightsaber, Getty?
I switched it up a couple of times. I would go between orange and purple.
Amber is the color of your lightsaber energy.
No, it isn't. Get out of your 311. So the characters, after you finish the first one, it's you don't know what's going to happen. They fill you in pretty well in the first couple of minutes of the new game, and then a lot of it is just exploring and trying to figure out what's going on. New villains, some returning villains. No spoilers, obviously, but this is just what I wanted from a sequel. And in again, a lot of ways they could end it right here, and I don't think anybody would be upset about it. I think there might be more stories to tell there, but it's very complete, and it's a hell of a ride, guys. If you didn't play the first one,
that you should play the first one.
You should play the first one so that you understand the characters. And we talked a little bit on the side, Alex, but all of the characters, like the human characters, their models in the game are based off of what they look like in real life.
Which is real cool.
Yeah, so if you saw Cal Kestis in a live-action Star Wars, it's the guy who plays him in the game. You don't have to mess around. You don't have to digitally alter him. That's him. So that's really cool. I don't know what they're going to do with the characters. Obviously, they have them. They can use them. Will they? It might be kind of neat. But just if you get around to it, play the first one, see how you feel about it. The second one just builds on everything that I enjoyed. Obviously, you don't have to go through and platinum it. There's a lot of silly side stuff that you do. My favorite being all the bounty hunters that you can go actively hunt. In the first one, they hunt you.
The hunters.
In this one, you hunt them.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah. But it's tedious work. The boss fights, obviously, Souls, so they do have a challenging element to it. But from the beginning, when you're like, man, there's a Rancor down there, I probably shouldn't fight it. And then the first thing you do is you go fight the Rancor. I'm like, yeah. Took me 5 tries, but I got him. Should I have waited? Yeah. Definitely wait. Don't try and kill that Rancor right off the bat. But I shared a couple of clips with Alex, so you should check out our TikTok where those exist. Maybe?
Yep.
At least one of them.
At least one of them. Any more?
I thought I sent you a couple. Maybe?
Let me check.
You know, we'll have more content rolling out, but, you know, so far, I don't think I'm jinxing it, but this year has been real good for games coming out, and I think it's just going to get better. We still have half a year here. I'm surprised Alex hasn't asked us for a top 10 betas of the first half of the year.
Oh no, I've already started making it. I need to get that info.
See, you did this, Joel.
I didn't say a damn thing. I take no ownership in this.
Yeah,
my
you
mouth
do.
has been purposely shut for the last 5 minutes.
Sure, okay. But that's all I wanted to share. There's so much that I could say, a bunch of stuff that wouldn't make any sense to you, but if you want to be a Jedi, this is a good place to start. Alright, so now we can get all excited. We've got 1 week left until we hand in our video game homework. Obviously, if you haven't done it already, go check out Hotline Miami. This is a game that you can play, because we're going to spoil the heck out of it next week. No holds barred.
Hell yeah.
Heck yeah.
Uncensored.
Nope. Fully censored.
They swear a lot in this game.
They sure do.
There was dialogue?
There was dialogue. You just didn't hear it.
Oh.
You had to read it. You probably skipped it.
Reading's hard.
I probably did.
Alec doesn't.
I can't read no
Alec
good.
doesn't have time to explain what you don't have time to write out. All right. So make sure you check out that because, again, we're going to spend a lot of time on it next week. That'll take us to our one last thing. And this week's one last thing is brought to you by 3-day weekends. Hide your video game systems from your kids because they are also going to be on summer break soon. So, is this the official start of summer? The unofficial start of summer?
Usually it's the unofficial start of summer.
Well, again, be careful out there. Don't get sunburned, or maybe do. I know my pool's open this weekend, so I'm going to try to do that. My one last thing. I'm playing 2 One Piece games right now, as I have realized that the Steam Deck is the best place to play the anime games from the PlayStation 3 era. They run so well on there, it is dumb.
So what other anime games you looked into did into?
Naruto.
The Naruto games on there run real nice too. Right now I'm playing... hold on, I will tell you. It is One Piece World something. But it is...
Holla at me when you get to Captain Tsubasa.
I heard that thing doesn't run great. But... Alright, let's check out this category real quick. One Piece World Seeker. Open world, adventure, a lot of action. I would say...
He's going to start playing the Budokai games.
I mean...
What about the Xenoverse stuff?
Do you know if that stuff runs good on Steam Deck? Alex is like, nah, man, I don't care.
I phased out, man, real hard around Budokai 2.
Well, if it does, and it's on Steam, maybe I'll check it out. All right, Alex, what do you got?
I'm excited to get into the Power Wash Simulator and see what that's all about. Let's get some, put on an anime, put on a TV show, and then and you gotta give me the password to your HBO Max account.
You know I don't have that information. Lisa has it written in a notebook that's somewhere hidden in the house.
Call it by its real name.
The problem is that she told me like 7
it's
passwords
Max.
and they're all different.
It's called Max now.
And they're all different, so I don't know which one it is.
I don't even know what the login is, man. I'm not allowed to have that information.
No, she's also giving me 3 logins. I'm not sure which one any of them are.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't have that. Joel?
Just keep sending me videos of the ridiculous stuff that people make in Zelda Tears of the Kingdom.
Yeah.
Because the ingenuity is insane. And also, I can't fathom how people get through this game so quickly and accumulate that much resources. It's insane.
I like that crossover one that was Tokyo Drift and
Yeah.
and Tears of the Kingdom.
There's that. Somebody kamikazing their bird plane into a giant rock monster. The Korok torture devices. The multi-waterboarding tools.
Korok.
I sent you that one where someone actually made a Korok a secondary bomber pilot, so he was helping them out.
Dude, somebody made a harvester for some of that Hylian rice, where they just made a harvester and just ran across the field and collected the stuff. Like it, insane, crazy
Cool
stuff.
Yeah.
Wow. All right. Alec?
I'm going to get back into Like a Dragon now that I'm done with Hotline Miami.
Yeah.
How far did you get?
Got to the part where I had to really suspend my disbelief about epinephrine giving you the ability to walk.
So you did not become as homeless yet?
No.
Man, you got a long...
I'm barely
You got a
scratching
long
the
way
surface.
to go.
Enjoy, buddy.
It's going to get real wild.
Enjoy the journey.
Awesome.
You think that was crazy? Nah, it's going to get insane.
Getty fought a Roomba.
It's not so,
I fought
it's
a
not so much that
Roomba.
it was crazy. It's just that that's not how epinephrine works, man.
Man, do you know how Phoenix Downs work?
Nobody does.
that.
What, do you eat it?
Nobody
Is it a
does.
suppository? Do you rub it on the wound? And that resurrects you?
I think you rub it on the wound. You just like grind it up and mash
No,
it in.
my
Alex,
bet's
you've
still
played Resident
suppository.
Evil, man. You've seen those herbs.
Daddy asked me the questions I never knew I didn't want to know the answer to.
I do always ask that about the herbs. I'm always very curious. They grind it into a powder and then do what?
Yeah.
Snort it.
Do like they do with potters? You put it into a cup and mix it up real good.
And now you have to do the Poggers ad.
That makes more sense. Oh, yeah.
Go to poggers.com/
It's
buy
a
it from Super GG Radio, I guess.
Good.
This works at all.
The
Drinkpoggers.com.
drinkpoggers.com. Yep.
Use code GOODGAME at checkout for 10% off your order.
Alec with the save. Yeah, you fight a Roomba and at one point a tiger. A circus
Nice.
tiger. Like you go to I don't even know if it's a legal zoo or even like a circus, and they're like, "Oh yeah, that tiger just got out."
And of course, because you have a hero complex, you're like, I'm going to go bring it back.
It's even more comical. I think you're just standing on stage and it's like, "Oh look," you look over at the audience and there's just a tiger in the audience.
And Alec, this should set the stage for all Yakuza games across the board.
I think that
Fantastic.
you also fight a bear, and I think its name is Tiffany. It doesn't even make sense. None of this makes any sense. All
I
right.
would name it Tiger Tiffany.
Okay. All right. We're good. Everybody's happy.
Yep.
Yeah. You can't take
Yep.
back anything that was said in the last almost 2 hours. So. It's going to be on the internet
Joke's
soon.
on you, you're not editing.
Nobody is. We're just slapping it all together. Now we're just going to upload all 4 of the audio tracks.
That's right.
Along with all the dead air.
We're gonna upload them individually, and then the listener has to parse them together.
Nope. It's a choose your own adventure. You get to pick who you listen to.
There you go.
Awful. All right, that'll be it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on Twitter at Super GG Radio and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where Thursdays are much like today. We have a podcast where we do the talky talk, and you can watchy watch. Saturdays, Joel has baseball, so ignore this.
Thank you.
Mondays, Alex goes Super Saiyan. You're almost done, right?
Yes, I just got very sick this week, so I didn't get a chance to play.
That's fine. You can get as sick as you want, but you're going to have to share some sick beats and Skater XL on Tuesdays.
Yep, let's catch his
Nice
hands.
transition.
Let's go.
Alex is ready to go. I guess those are all the streaming plans that we have for right now. Check back with us as we might have more. We do have a TikTok. I don't know what it's at, or even if they use the @ symbol in TikTok, but Alex has that information. Maybe.
Let's see.
Check out
I think it's at Super GG Radio.
Check out our TikTok at Super GG Radio.
Yes, it is. TikTok.com / Super GG Radio.
There you go. Okay, that's a thing that we have. There's going to be more bad videos from me, I think.
Yep, our newest indie game spotlight just went up for Bleak Sword DX.
Yeah. Watch it. Yeah, that's a thing they can watch, right?
Yep.
All right, watch it. If you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com, and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. Thanks for listening, and good game, Alex.
GG Getty.
Good game, Joel.
Good game.
Good game, Alec.
GG.
And that's how the sausage is made?